Hello everyone, Bashar here. I wanted to create a guide about empowering epic champions. So you could say, what guide would I need for empowering epic champions? Right? I just put the guy in, I just empower, and that's it, right? And it is correct, but there are some things that people tend to look over, or for reaching the empowerment, some mistakes can be made. So, guys, the biggest mistake and the most basic mistake you can make is letting go of your already assigned epic faction guardians. As you can see, I have all of my epic faction guardians full. I have close to legendaries full, and I have, as you can imagine, not empowered the legendary yet. I mean, lizards are full, but I don't have anything to empower. Anyway, so the thing is, you should not be breaking up the readily assigned empowerment. Why? Because you would be getting an additional stats on the epic in question, but you would be losing the bonuses for the entire faction. So for the sake of giving some accuracy, attack, defense, HP to your seer, you would be losing 6 speed on all of your faction guardians, because as you know, you can't do the smart trick of for example, just sacrificing Caden here, right? So if you break this chain, HP, attack, accuracy, resistance, defense, and speed. If you break the chain here, for example, at the second node, the other 3 bonuses will be disabled. So the only way to break the bonus is starting from the right. So you have to lose the 6 speed first, then you have to lose 10% defense, then that. So somehow arriving there and canceling out the attack is not an option. Let me demonstrate. They all get grayed out, as you can see. And another thing is, guys, about not disrupting your readily assigned faction guardians. You might have some tune teams that use the champions in question, which will be messed up when you lose that 6 speed. So, for example, guys, a nice example I think would be Ogryn, because in the Ogryn tribes we have the lovable Ugo, right? And also Maneater. And for example, let's say you have 4 Ugos, right? And you are using 2 of them, and the 2 are faction guardians, and you want to empower your one of your Ugos to +2, right? And then you're like, it's not a problem, let me do it. And if you do that, you're going to lose 6 speed on all of your Ogryn epics, which means your man-eaters will lose 6 speed each, alongside with everyone else. But the thing is, if you have a man-eater based clan boss team, and your man-eater was on the lower end of the acceptable speed interval, that means your team will be no longer functional, and you will be wasting your demon lord key. So for those reasons, you should not be breaking up the readily assigned faction guardians. So how should you empower? For example, in my case, I have 3 Ugos built and 1 spare Ugo, but let's, for the sake of argument, assume I have 2 good Ugos and 2 are full. So how should I be empowering? Should I be doing +1 on both, or should I be going +2 on a single one? The right answer is going to +2 on a single one, because guys, the more you empower, the more you get out of it. So if you take a look at the epic empowerment here, this is the mythical and legendary empowerment. So all levels give 10% HP attack and defense and 10 accuracy and resistance, right? That's fixed, right? But the second level gives extra 5 speed and 5 crit damage, and the fourth empowerment gives 5% speed, 10% crit damage, and 5% crit rate. Rate is, as you know, very important. It's not really obtainable. There is just this one mastery, there is the 15% base, and there is now the empowerment. So that's why it's more important to go +4 on one first. So for example, if you are maintaining multiple Ugos and you have some spare Ugos, the correct way is to reach +4 on one Ugo and then start to work on another. I want to discuss three things, the most important being not disrupting the ones you have. Another thing is, I think that was the third thing I want to discuss for the moment. I hope I will be remembering it before the video ends. So guys, the second thing that I want to talk about is, well, I did remember it, yeah, that's good. So I mean, people were like no longer, you know, using epics as 4-star chicken anymore, 4-star food anymore. We have to save all epics. That's not true, right? With one exception, which is the third thing I want to talk about. With one exception, you should be keeping up using your bad epic champions as food. Because guys, what would you get out of empowering, let's say, let me find, I don't have any bad ones. I should, I did see a few, but I wanna, you know, make it a little bit more clear. Yeah, I mean guys, what would I get out of empowering my Broadmoor, right? I mean, what would I get out of empowering my Filja? These are bad champions, they don't get used anywhere. So unless you have plans of using a champion in some special Synthronos room, bad epics, you know, Jizo, I don't know, Battle Mage, Yagadi, Unsatiable, you know, Tomoe, these guys need not be empowered. A 4-star chicken is more valuable than what the empowerment gets on those. So you should only be empowering good champions. So I mean, if you want a, you know, very simple example, this is not the whole list, of course, by no means comprehensive, but let me just show you this. So the ones I have here are, you know, they are either really good epics or they are epics that have used in Synthronos most of the time, right? So for example, I would, you know, going over it quickly, Geo, Seer, these are a little bit obvious, these are the best epics in the game. Geo, Seer, Toragi, Melga also is worth it. Gambo, Magnar, Seeker, I mean, not Seer, Demita, but be very careful with the empowerments of these, right? That is point 2a that I want to talk about. When you are empowering epics, they get speed, right? And as you know, Demita themes have very low speed ranges, right? The 5 speed that she gets out of empowerment will be enough to, you know, disrupt your team. So either, you know, empower her and make her lose the amount of speed you gained, or don't empower her, right? If you are doing Ultra Nightmare 1 key, you don't really need the empowerment on Demita, right? She's not really very good, you know, someplace else, even in Synthronos, because, you know, in the clan boss we are tuned and we play exactly just before the clan boss and after our entire team to put up the block damage, so the entire team gets rid of the damage that the clan boss is dealing, right? That you can't achieve that in Synthronos. No one is tuned, there are 5 enemies, it won't happen. So be careful. You could, of course, if you wish, so Geo and Seer is the best, I think, right? I think the best empowerment target is Seer, because you benefit from the speed she gets, you benefit for the crit damage, crit rate, and accuracy that she gets, because, you know, she can also consume the enemy buffs on the field. Sometimes it can be useful. Shamal and Ugo, you know, the Hydra epics are extremely good to empower. Royal Guard and Husk are also really good targets. Warcaster, Cardinal, these are not Endalia. I mean, I just did this one for a room. The damages are very good to empower. Fane, Anax, these are very good. For example, guys, I probably wouldn't empower Alika. I did Alika for a room and she does really decent damage, but, you know, I wouldn't want to empower her because she goes in like maybe one room, right? Anax Fane go in several rooms, right? They are pretty good. So Naldor can be definitely done. And if your clan boss team is suffering on damage, you should definitely empower them. You can somehow, put the speed back. I'm just talking about if you have a wonky alternate full auto team, you don't really need, to empower Demeter. Tyrell is okay. Vogoth is very good, right? Stag is good. If you want to do hard dragon and if you don't have a good team, Dark Kael is going to be very good because you need tons of stats on him. You need 100% crit, you need accuracy, you need to put regen set on him. He's an attack based champion. It's tough to make him tanky. Yeah, he gets a lot out of empowerment, and he is the third thing. Well, he and a few others are the last thing that I want to talk about. So, I mean, these are generally good champions to empower. Ugo is an extremely good target. I really like Umbral Enchantress. Urogrim can be good if you want a solo dragon stage 20 normal. There is a nasty nuking bit in the second wave that will get your win rate quite high. Whisper is of course extremely good, right? Elio is good. I mean, the epics that get used in the end game are of course very good, and some epics that get used here and there and also in Synchronos are also pretty good. Helmut is very good. He can actually replace Lydia for Seer teams because with Lydia teams, there is always the risk of the decreased defense or weaken not landing, and it's gonna be painful. If you have a really good Seer, Helmut can handle it because he puts up 3 buffs, right? Helmut puts up the buffs, Seer nukes, and you kill without even decreased defense and weaken. But as I said, requires really good Seer. Yeah, so there is that. And the third thing I want to talk about is, guys, there are 10 epics in the game that are unobtainable from anything but their specified source. Those would be, I'm sure you guessed it. Maybe you might have missed on the guess on one of them. So 9 of those are Doom Tower epics, right? They are unobtainable by any means other than doing side rooms of Doom Tower in normal mode, right? And there is an order to them. You start with Archmage Helmut. Who was the second? I don't even remember. I think the second one is not very good, maybe. Dark Kael is, I think, third in line. There is Gwyneth, and you should never ever use those champions as food because, as I said, they are unobtainable by any means. So the thing is, because they are unobtainable by any means, and the 10th is Jamarsa from the referral program. So there are 10 epics in the game that are unobtainable by any means other than their original source, and those are the 9 Doom Tower epics plus Jamarsa, right? So those champions, because they are unobtainable, they use other champions as empowerment fuel, right? And the general rule is you keep the faction and you keep the affinity intact. So for example, let's take a look here. Okay, let's put the filter in here. So for example, yeah, Captain Temila is Dark Kael's, Magic Affinity Dark Elf. For Archmage Helmut, it was not Arndulf. I keep saying Arndulf, but it was not Arndulf. Where is it? Gerhard, I think. Something like it. Again, Banner, Lord, Magic Affinity. So those are it. So you should be either keeping a list of these or, checking them out. Because as I said, they have to be the correct affinity and correct faction. Again, for example, for Gwyneth, we have another Dark Elf Magic Affinity. So that is the third thing I want to talk about. So you can readily, sacrifice your bad epics, not doing the empowerments for them. Still keep. So, the order goes, fill your faction guardians first, then start using your bad epics as fodder, with the exception of the Doom Tower epics, right? I mean, the ones that empower the Doom Tower epics are generally worth it. Um, Not all Doom Tower epics get used, but for example, Gwyneth is good. She can be used in several Synchronos rooms. She doesn't trigger counterattacks, so she is very useful in that very nasty Taras Marichka room. S19 in one of the rotations. Helmut is quite end game. There is Akot the Seer. I think Akot the Seer was the second one. Dark Kale is very good. I would say they are quite decent, right? Empower worthy, and don't panic. There is no rush, right? There is no rush to get it done. If you had them, as you can see, I have a very minor amount. I have a +2 Geo. I have a +1 Seer. I think I have a +1 Toragi, and I think I did a +1 Melga yesterday. +1 Gambo, +1 Magnar, and +1 Seeker. And that's it. That's what I have. So these were already at ready, and as you know, we opened our ancient shards yesterday. I think I got the Seeker then. So by no means it is worth to break your already existing faction guardians. Don't empower bad epics, and finally keep an eye on the epics that can be used for empowering the Doom Tower epics and Jamarsa. Those are not bad. For example, guys, you don't really need to empower Jamarsa, right? She's not very much used. I mean, generally she is used in tandem with Chronam, and when she is used there, you just put her so Chronam can self-revive. But of course, there is no harm. She goes in some Doom Tower, Synchronos rooms. There are cases in which she is the solo reviver possible, so you put her in bolster and high resistance, so they can't mess with her, or at least not too much. And if you're fast enough, she can keep reviving the entire team. She has a mass revive which can be useful. So I think I would empower her, if I had the guys. So I don't even know who that is. See, that offer looked like worth considering. And it's a flash one. Oh no, it immediately pops. It immediately pops. Let me find that out. That was funny. I will consider this, guys. I don't wanna, because I wanna finish the thing. Let me think about it. I think I have it somewhere here for Jamarsa. I just wanted to discuss with you guys if the champion is good. I thought I had it somewhere here. Just sorry about this, guys. I got it, I think. Jamarsa is empowered by Meave. Well, very worth it. So let's just go over it. Archmage Helmut is empowered by Gerhard the Stone. Very well worth sacrificing. Akot the Seer is empowered by Excruciator. Excruciator can be used in a few rooms, but I would just go empowering for Akoth. Dark Kale is Captain Temila. We have gone over it. Very worth sacrificing. Liburga is empowered by Tolf the Maimed. So I don't have Liburga yet. I don't know how good she is. She's not very good, I think. Maybe not empowered, but the champion is very well worth sacrificing. 12. Krakart is empowered by Spider. Spider is actually, I have him on level 50. I think he has AoE decreased defense, but if need be, it can be done. Rion is empowered by Teresk. You can do it very easy. Taya is empowered by Oboro. I think this time around, the champion that empowers is better than the champion that is getting empowered. Oboro can be good in certain situations. She has a bit of a solo potential because when she does some stuff to give herself veil, and when she gives herself veil, she gets revive on death or something. Gwyneth is empowered by Kaden. Kaden is good for one room. I would say I would just keep one Kaden and empower Gwyneth probably. ZXG is empowered by Basilisk. Worth sacrificing, but I don't know how good ZXG is. So guys, I am on to my last few Doom Tower epics. I don't have ZXG. I'm about to get her. I don't have Liburga and Krakarth. The others I have, but those are not really the good ones, right? Dark Kael, Helmut are pretty end game. Gwyneth has use for one room. Akoth can be used in a few rooms. AoE HP burn is always good. Rian can be good, and Rian, I'm sure you guys have seen that he gets used in PvP. He has full buff strip. Now that we have Mikage, maybe he's a little bit outdated, but he also revives. Meh. So yeah, most can be just empowered, and I will be thinking about this offer, and I will see you guys on stream. That was funny. Bye bye.